Welcome viewer to another video. This video is just going to be a continuation or to build upon the previous video where I revealed that Barrier actually has some defensive capabilities and it's different from Explosive Wave. Now, upon figuring out who all has the Barrier technique, I've concluded that not a lot of people in this game, and correct me if I'm wrong, viewer, but out of 170 characters that you can choose from, only I want to say about 9. I'm gonna count through it. So the ones that you see that I have maxed out in these slots are the ones that come with the Barrier technique. So let's start from Whis, and from there we can see where the rest of the characters are. So it is Future Gohan, Android 17 and Android 18, Babidi, Weelo, Bojack, actually, both forms, but I'll just count this one form because it doesn't change, unlike some other transformations in the game. And Whis. Now, who else? I think that's about it. So yeah, that's about it. So that's 1, 2, 3. Let's go up. So Android 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, and Android fused Android 13. That's 8. So correction. It's only 8 characters out of 170 different characters to choose from in the roster. Let's go over to just regular base form Android 13. Not even Android 13 has this because he has Wild Sense copied and pasted onto this version of him, to the base version. So just remember which characters and which transformations have certain techniques. Now the reason why I labeled it in the previous video that Barrier is a hidden meta, let me just give you just an actual demonstration.
Shall I step in then?
Okay, so we have max form Broly, Z Broly, because he has an unblockable, right? Let's get into it. Now this is gonna be kind of tricky because I know they've been saying just lab it, bro, just lab. Look, listen, the way that the devs have AI set up in this game right now, they purely read inputs. That is it. They don't know how to properly think for themselves or try to play the character that you set forth for them. They'll just wait and read off whatever buttons that you press and then act accordingly as soon as you press it. So that's why they kind of act weird when you're just standing there not pressing anything, because they don't know what to do. They're waiting to bounce off of you. So this might be a little tricky to get Broly to get that ultimate off, because he's trying to I want to say cheese, because even in here he'll cheese. Even in here in the training area, he will cheese just to get the ult off. So it leads to me to believe, did the community learn from AI, or did they just just so happen to think of doing the key spam and then into ultimate unblockable? Try normal, see if he can get it off.
Try not to die on me.
That's not gonna work.
You can block that. See, I'm gonna be here all day because I'm trying to get him to pop the ult off. He wants to go off, missed inputs. The AI wants me to make a mistake.
Try not to die on me. Try not to die on me.
Okay, then let's try Super. Come on now.
No.
As you can clearly see, I have it set to ultimate. Not vanishing, not defense. And There you have it.
Try not to die.
Trying to lab Broly is just some of the I don't know if something's wrong with this AI specifically for this character, but I can swap it. We can swap characters because sitting up here, it could be a time consumer if you're choosing Broly to lab. So we can change that. We can use a different ultimate. Let's choose another cheese. And we can go with Gotenks Galactic
This'll be
Donuts.
over quick.
Now, I've tried to lab this. That move is literally a true definition of an unblockable. Like, I don't know if you have to be within, like, outside of a certain range so you can have the ability to try to vanish it, try to sidestep, get out of the way, or, you know, just something else to get out of the way of it. Because it seems to have crazy tracking. So let's try this.
Take this, Galactic
Okay, and
That's not gonna
right
work.
there. From that, Barrier has, in my opinion, is such a underrated, and just no one thinks about ever trying this technique on some of these ultimates, that it just goes completely unnoticed, even if a player is maining a character that has a barrier, whether it be base form or transformation. So just keep that in mind. Now this and I can show you, if he does the attack again, it is truly unblockable.
Take this! Yeah!
Now that one,
Take this, Galactic
let's try blocking it. You can't block it.
Hey, I wanna play some more!
You can try vanishing it, timing it after the cutscene ends.
Take this, Galactic
You can try vanishing it right here. You could vanish it. You could definitely vanish it, but the window is really tight. It's really tight, and it sometimes it won't work, so you can't fully just rely on that.
Take this, Galactic
Try it again. Let's try vanishing it again. As you can clearly see,
I wanna play some more!
the window is really, really narrow for you to try to vanish that. We could try sidestep. The labbing section, the training section is not really thought out, so literally just don't pay no mind to the people that constantly say just go to the training lab, because this is it right here. If you're just trying to lab blast or, you know, key blast.
Take this! Yeah! Take this!
Let's try sidestepping. You can sidestep. So keep that in mind. Let's try going up and down. Let's try flying up and down. Let's try up. You can't fly up. You probably cannot fly down neither, so keep that in mind. Let's try square plus X.
Take this, Galactic Donuts!
You can do square plus X. But understand, if you go with the square plus X vanish, you have to understand outside of a certain range, then you will be able to do it. If you get close and you do a square plus X, that way you can get an automatic hit on vanish, you will get grabbed because it just will not work because you're within its range, and anything you may do will get trumped by that unblockable every time. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I just want to say that barrier is just another option that you could use to get out of the way, because not everybody. One sec. The reason why I say that is because unblockables are not the same. Unblockables are literally built different from one another, because you have Gotenks and you have just tiny ways to be able to get around it. His unblockable. Let's go over to Master Roshi. See now, Master Roshi's unblockable lightning hands literally is built different, because his lightning hands comes out faster than Gotenks' unblockable donuts. So you have to keep that in mind. So you can't really just be, so the room or the options to defend against it and get around it is very slim to none, if any. You can't block it. There's no use in trying to sidestep. You can't vanish it because you can't get it out fast enough. And you have to also keep in mind, you're locked inside of an animation with the opponent that decides to throw out the lightning hands. But here's where barrier begins to shine. Let's pull it out.
The kid gloves are off. Lightning surprise.
It's not gonna work.
And from there, now you see it can, in fact, block against his unblockable spam. You have to keep that in mind. That's a nice utility. And it will be something nice to just pull out because no one's expecting this. Like literally from the games that I've played, nobody even bothers to use this at all. And then people just wonder why they can't just defend. And I know it's easy to just say that because one, there's not a lot of characters in the game that has the barrier technique. Okay. And you're probably wondering, okay, I started thinking to myself, who all really has this? And literally, let's go to the character selection. Let's head over to the character selection. Literally, Future Gohan Super Saiyan form is the first character that you come across, if you're going from top to bottom, that has barrier. Nobody else has barrier until you reach Android 17 and 18. Literally. So everybody between Goku, from early Goku, early Dragon Ball Goku, all the way down to future Gohan, will not have barrier. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Explosive Wave. Okay, and I started to think like maybe Explosive Wave can be good. The first one that you come across that has Explosive Wave is literally early Dragon Ball Vegeta. He has Explosive Wave. Now let's pull out Explosive Wave.
Yes, let's see how tough you are, shall we?
We're gonna go with his unblockable. So let's do Master Roshi's unblockable. Beam, blast. I'm probably gonna get hit off top. Okay. Let's get that out the way. Explosive Wave is up for only 2, requiring 2 skill points. Now let's see how good it is. See? It will not work because Explosive Wave only guards you against physical attacks. All physical attacks, you can knock them back and kind of shut down and put everybody back to neutral and create space. It will not protect you against Ki Blast. But let's try it again. You'll probably hit me with an unblockable. Yeah. Let's try this unblockable.
Lightning surprise.
Will not work. Let's try his Kamehameha Wave.
And let's gloves are off. Lightning surprise.
Let's try it if he can get it out. See that? It will not work. You can try and do it when he's closer. It just won't work. Let's try it one more time. He did it before I could even pull it off. One more time. Nope. See, you're gonna get hurt. What's funny is that when you go in here and you start to think about it some more, Explosive Wave is on a ton of characters that literally do not have an instant sparking technique or a barrier technique or an aftermath. Let's take off barrier. Explosive Wave is on so many characters that do not have access to instant sparking or any type of vanishing technique. You're gonna find Explosive Wave. And it's just like, okay, like you can. Barrier is honestly a step above Explosive Wave because it protects you against physical as well as all key spam, all type of key abilities, whether it be an unblockable or in it could be an unblockable alt, or it could just be an unblockable I want to say key attack. Let's just go with that. And also another character before I just remember. That is Toppo. Toppo's Hakai Aura is barrier. I don't know why. You look at it and think like, oh, it's probably something that's like, no. That's literally barrier, and it can protect you from all sorts of physical as well as key attacks. So keep that in mind. And it's a transformation. You can transform and de-transform, choosing, giving you control of which version that you want to have. That's really nice. Now, Whis. Well, before I get to Whis, I start to think like maybe, okay, barrier. I'm thinking since they've saying they're gonna go lore accurate, and you know they've also taken from the movies as well as the anime. You would think, that Z Broly has barrier, when in fact he does not. And I've checked through all of his all three transformations. When you get to the second form, nothing. But when you get to the maxed out form, the legendary Super Saiyan, he has explosive wave. And I get it. I know it's gonna be way too powerful. He get to have his green key barrier, which would have looked really dope to see, but they give him bare basic explosive wave, which it only helps against physical. I tried looking on Broly Super. It's all instant sparking, you know, buffs to physical and attack powers, and more, and instant transmission that literally unlocks your camera, which is just such a trash thing to have. Like, why? Which I think needs to be changed. Like, it should not be able to still do that. Oh, excuse me. And then another thing I realized is the Ginyu Force poses is all instant sparking. Like, what? Like, come on now. What would have been nice is if you had the whole roster on your lineup of the Ginyu Force. It'll just be like buffs. Like, you can have greater buffs if you play with all of them together, or maybe even one or two of them. Well, two, maybe three together even can compound the buff. But to just all have something just as lazy as copy and paste, instant sparking, get right back into it. Okay, cool. I just think it's just, to me, it just feels rushed. Like, some of these techniques and stuff really feel rushed in this game for these characters, because from literally top to bottom, it's instant sparking, some type of vanishing technique, and to already have such a minuscule, you know, to have such a tiny roster. I don't know if you can call it a fraction. Just such tiny like list of people that have this technique barrier. And if people ever catch on to that, it's gonna be a hierarchy when it comes to that, because Whis' barrier technique is the best one out of all the barrier technique users. And I'm going to show you just why. Just give me a second. And he comes with snack time, which gives him a whole bar of health off top. So if somebody knows what they're doing, they could time you out or slow the game down and dictate the flow of it if you let them. And I know how blitz people, or if you're getting your ass beat by somebody blitzing you, you get your skill charge faster. So that still leads into that type of playstyle. If you try to blitz them, it's like, okay, that's the reason why I say somebody that knows what they're doing can dictate the flow with a type of character like this, because of all the just the crazy stuff to them, the instant dodging and all that other stuff. And sleep time, I haven't even gotten to instant key charge. And I think I'm just gonna address it in this video. Just 1 second. Look, I say Whis has the best barrier technique. Let's do Jiren's unblockable or Ki Blast.
The time is now.
And right there, he has that's the reason why I say he has the best barrier technique, because from the moment the animation starts, the very moment, you are literally invulnerable or invincible to every form of attack. And even before the barrier actually shows up, you are literally invincible. And I know it looks kind of wonky. Sometimes enemies' blasts can literally pass through you, and while you're doing the whole animation, or even Russian attacks can just straight fly right past you or right through you when you're doing the animation. We can try and look at that again. As you can see right there. Okay, next I gotta talk about Explosive Wave. I gotta talk about Explosive Wave. And then Barrier costs 3 skill. Explosive Waves cost 2 skill. I think Barrier Wave should also cost 2 skill. That way you can be able to utilize it more as a greater defensive strategy. That's just me. I see nothing wrong with that. Now let's talk about Explosive Wave. Explosive Wave, I feel, is literally unusable. I think it's literally unusable because it doesn't really protect you against anything except for rushing attacks or when an enemy decides to blitz you. That's about it, to create space. But then again, you're probably wondering, like, okay, and you wonder why people use Bardock, because Bardock has literally the greatest explosive wave in the game, where he will knock you back, create space, shut down your blitz, instant sparking. I just you just can't do you. What else can you do? Keep in mind that Barrier can help you against cheese, and nobody knows it yet because everybody wants to play the same characters because they think they're so top tier because they have After Image, Wild Sense, After Image Strike, some form of instant transmission, unlock your character, unlock your camera, stuff like that. Just keep that in mind. So somebody want to try and style on you with a Master Roshi, just let them know. Prevent them from the certain, the dominance over you. You can't just pull that off whenever you want. It actually forces people to actually think. Just because it's it's unblockable, I got you now. Even every one of Frieza's henchmen, even the Frieza soldier has instant sparking. Let me correct myself. Let me see. Full power charge. Sleep. No. Full power charge is correction. Full power charge is full key charge. That's what that is. So if you're low on, say you're on your last 1 or 2 bars of key, bam, full power charge, full key. That's full key meter, which that's going to be the next thing. That's a great segue into that. Let's talk about full power charge. How that's another underrated and hidden meta that nobody thinks about, because think about it this way. If the devs decide to finally get in here and drop updates to really change the dynamic of how these skills and techniques work, full power charge is definitely gonna I think full power charge might shoot up there and you're gonna start to see more of those techniques in people's lineup. The reason why I say that, let's go and start with UI Goku. UI Sign Goku, because Mui Goku doesn't have that. So let's go here.
It's my turn.
Start that up. Now, full power charge is even less. It's on even less number of characters than even Barrier is. So it's very few and far in between the characters that have this technique. So I got 2 key bars, right? Okay. I have that. Now, even greater potential. It only takes 2. The max that UI Sign gets is 6. Hit that, bam, full key charge. You stay in the fight because Key, if anything should happen and they start doing nerfs like crazy, or do any type of real change or change that's just so noticeable, full power charge is gonna be up there, and it's gonna be picked on because what you've just seen is this Key. Let me run it back a little bit. Key is everything in this game. Key is so ingrained into so much stuff that you do, whether it be outside and inside of combat. If you're just doing regular movements with the stick, you're not gonna waste Key. You start dashing, okay, you start dashing, bam, 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 bam. Up, see, now you're running down on Key. You have to keep that in mind. You have to manage your Key. Bam, hit this. Buffs, you're there. People don't think about that. I think it's also a hidden meta, and it's also very powerful because while you're sitting here charging up regular style, that opens you up for counterplay. That opens you up for a number of things, especially Mui Goku's triangle ability that literally flat instant transmission straight towards you, and you're gonna get yourself caught just by charging up your Key, right? But with even greater potential, bam, you may not have just noticed it, but I literally turned off counterplay, locks you into a cutscene with me while I get all that off. Let me get my stuff. All right, back to it. It doesn't matter if you're trying to Dragon Dash. It doesn't matter if you're trying to blitz me. Anything. That, I think, greatly dictates the flow of the game. And it's going to cause people, or should cause people, to really, you have to sit back and you have to think now. You have to actually utilize your character. Instead of just, oh, I got the cheese. No. Especially Key. You're going to want that Key when it comes to Vanishing Wars. Because it's always, I got more Key than you. You have less, you lose, because it's gonna go the distance every time. All the while you're building up skill really, really fast. Bam, bam, bam. We finish. I may even lose. Bam. Right back to it. I got more than you. I could blitz you. I can do whatever to you. Don't even try to think about trying to get off your regular R2 charge. You're gonna get blitzed. Especially if somebody thinks about it real quick. Nah, I'm not gonna instantly go with the square. I'm gonna bait you out. So, and it makes me think. It's like, that's a top tier character. Bardock is a top tier character. Whether they don't have a vanishing technique, that is powerful. And all it screams to me is, you may have started off with good intentions. You may have started off with a fair character, and then you just gravitated towards UI Sign or Bardock. All it tells me is you've only become the thing that you hate in the end, and that's a person that cheeses. And it's probably, I'm gonna regret those words. Maybe it's too strong. Maybe that's balance. But you also got to understand, he comes with instant sparking. He's able to bam, skip past all that regular Key charge and just get straight back to it. You have to sit back. You have to charge. That opens you up. I want to say he's top tier. He's not cheese in a sense. Is just top tier. And whoever's not rocking with another top tier character, you're gonna put yourself at a greater disadvantage. No matter if you know what you're doing, because if that person knows what they're doing and they gets all low and they got all such powerful stuff in their disposal, it's pretty much GG's. It just is what it is. Closing thoughts. I just think taking a closer look at these characters' skills and abilities, I just feel like it's pretty rushed. I don't think it's all well fleshed out, because all I see is just some type of vanishing technique, instant sparking, just copy and paste it on majority of the roster. So it if even if you like a character and he doesn't have one of those abilities, you're gonna put yourself at a disadvantage. Especially if he doesn't have barrier and he just has explosive wave and he's not Bardock, you're gonna put yourself at a disadvantage. I'm sorry. If it's offline, have at it, have a good time. It is what it is. And Dr. Wheelo. Lastly, Dr. Wheelo. Let's get back into it. Sorry. Let's Dr. Wheelo. I'm gonna keep saying that name. Let me swap to him. I just got a question. Did we watch the same movie? Did we honestly watch the same movie? How does Dr. Wheelo? Let me max out his. How does Dr. Wheelo come with barrier, which you don't see nobody use? And I'm sorry to just put this out there to let people know. Oh, I got barrier. Oh, and I got Dr. Wheelo. Oh, and his instant spark. He has instant sparking, which is wild to me. How does an android like this, is just a brain and a robot, has access to instant sparking? It's crazy to me. Did we watch the same movie? Let's run down, lastly, the characters that have barrier. You can see it here. Super Saiyan Future
No other
Gohan.
choice but to take action.
And from there, let's go all the way down to Android 17. Now, mind you, all these characters that you see here do not have barrier until you get to 17, 18. Even Android 17 Super has barrier. Android 18 has barrier. But 19 and Dr. Gero, they do not have barrier whatsoever. Bobbity has barrier. Android 13 Fused has barrier. Bojack has barrier. Both transformations. Whis has barrier. And also, lastly, Toppo. Toppo's God of Destruction transformation, Hakai Aura is barrier. That's another thing to keep in mind. And also, I haven't fully went back through the list, but don't sleep on these universe characters. Rosie, don't sleep on Rosie. Don't sleep on Rosie, because and characters that have full power charge. Okay, just keep that in mind. They're slept on now because guess what? They don't have vanishing technique, but they do have instant sparking. That's another thing. But again, as always, viewer, if you like the video, comment down below your thoughts, leave a like. I'm out.